Been about time that we're going away. Been about time, it's a whole nother day. Put the heat on to the Tetons with the neon you can lean on. Never get beat on, hey. But you don't even listen, huh? But you not even wishing, huh? You just keep on fishing, huh? Wonder where we go, we don't even know, huh? You hit me like a megaton. You hit me like a megaton. You hit me like a megaton. Watch it on the Jumbotron. Hit me like a megaton. Watch it on the Jumbotron. Hit me like a megaton.
What's up, everyone? How's it going? Damn, Dallas, you in here quick. He's just chilling out at home. He was sick all week.
Oh man, that sucks. Get better soon, buddy.
Yeah, that's the life of going to festivals, you know.
Oh yeah, that's bound to happen.
I'm glad I didn't get sick.
You got lucky. Most people do.
Dude, I've gotten sick the last 2 times I've gone, and it's like, well, why do you keep going? Because it's fun as fuck. You just deal with the sickness afterwards. Fuck it.
Yeah, I don't know how I go to a bunch of concerts, especially metal concerts, and I don't know how I don't get sick after.
Dude, I seem to always get sick if I go to a concert or something like that.
No, not me.
I think maybe that's why I didn't end up sick, is because I didn't hang out in like the festival spot with the concert. I was off over by the fire, hiding from the lasers.
People. Yeah.
How's your day been?
It's been good, man. It's been good. It's been a little busy.
A little busy, huh? I bet it was super busy when that storm hit.
You know, it wasn't too busy for me, actually. Thankfully, I checked in on all my customers, and everybody was good, so I was really thankful for that. So
luckily, you didn't have to deal with that Bloom incident then.
I don't know what that incident was.
Dude, their roof flew off.
Oh, no kidding.
The Lockwood one?
I did see that. Yeah, that was crazy.
Dude, I was like, man, I'd be pissed at those contractors.
That would be a pretty good-sized claim for sure.
So how long have you been selling insurance? So
I started, actually, pretty much the beginning of this year. Yeah, and I got into it just because I had, kind of jumping back like a year and a half, Jason Ashman, the owner, he had kind of called me while I was living down in Arizona and kind of talked to me about this new venture he wanted to start in, and it was cannabis insurance. And at the time, I thought I had a pretty decent job doing solar, but that kind of quickly fell apart. And then I kind of got sick, and then ended up coming back here earlier this year. And when I got here, I kind of realized that I needed a job quick. Oh, that's my mom, dollface. She's got to always say that. Of course she does. But so I ended up, coming back here, and then, I was like, well, I definitely need a job. And so I called Jason up, and we met for lunch and kind of went over what his, plan of attack was and what this would be about. And, it was really nice to see, after working with a bunch of corporate solar, to see a business owner that was really about the customer, right? And not, make some money to live, but, you don't have to
rape the customer.
Yeah, exactly, in lack of better words. But so, and then I was like, I felt like it was a good fit to me because, I'm a big proponent in cannabis. I've been using it medically for like 8 years now because of my Crohn's disease. And so we started actually using it for me because it was an alternative to prescription medication. Right. And so for me to be able to, have a hand in the cannabis industry is, I think it's pretty cool. But I also think that it helps add some legitimacy to our industry. Right. So like when people look at it, it's not just dispensaries and grow operations, right? Because now we've got payroll, we've got insurance, we've got the banks, that are getting in on doing credit card payments and whatnot. So you have this whole network of industry that's just behind that dispensaries and the grow, and I think that it's really cool to. I'm good for right now. Really cool to have that and help build that, because if somebody were to look at it, it's not just you guys, and the dispensary owners and whatnot. It's a whole network of us, and so the bigger it gets, the harder it is to take away.
After I started doing podcasting in the cannabis industry, I actually realized how much bigger it was than it actually seemed, because being just a consumer, you look at it and you're like, yeah, okay, so you got your dispensary, and then what's inside your dispensary, your grower, your extracts, and
it's packaging,
and then that's all you think.
Absolutely.
But yeah, you got to go way down farther in the line.
Yeah,
because there's a lot of the companies that have a big foothold in things like payroll or insurance that won't actually deal with the cannabis industry because they think it's taboo.
It's still federally illegal, and so there is a lot of the big mainstream insurance providers won't cover this risk, which is also what I think is awesome about this, because it's putting me up against the big guys.
Right,
and it was an opportunity that we saw that really there was nobody locally that was really out there that we could see that was really pushing to help protect some of these investments.
And getting in so early, you'll be able to build those relationships and the word of mouth from those relationships before the big companies decide to go, oh yeah, I guess we can cover these.
Yeah, 100%. And I feel like, especially for us Montanans, we tend to shy away from the big robotic mainstream call center.
We would rather be local.
Exactly, and that's the thing with us is our phone number. You call any number on the business website or on my card, and you're gonna get one of three people. It's me, Jason, or Julie.
Right.
And so you're not gonna get somebody from the East Coast that doesn't even live here, right? Because I'm dealing with a little insurance issue myself, like I was telling you about, and to have nobody here to deal with that and having to mail stuff off and emails, it's just such a hassle.
And it takes longer.
Yeah, it takes a lot longer. And so that was another big thing that we wanted, was just to provide a local service to where our customers could come into our office, sit down, have a cup of coffee with us and talk about it, or if it's within my means, go out and meet them, throughout the state, because we do cover the whole state. But it is just nice having somebody within your area code,
right,
to be able to help you.
It definitely helps touch on a more personal note.
Oh yeah, and like I said, me and Jason both are big proponents of it. So you also have to kind of care about what you're selling.
Right.
And for us, I want this to stay around just as long as everybody else. So.
I don't think the cannabis industry is really going anywhere at this point.
No.
It's too lucrative now.
Yeah, and like I said, you've got so many people involved with it that you take away so many jobs at that point too.
Right.
And I mean, this is a fast-growing industry.
It's exploding, dude.
I was really amazed after a couple years down in Arizona to where it's very limited dispensaries. It's all chains. Then I come up here, a couple of years later after, and I'd visit every now and again, but to see the growth and expansion of it was just crazy.
Yeah, when I went down to Vegas 2 years ago, we spent most of the week on the Strip, by the Strip, and that's where all the, big chain dispensaries are.
I've been to one of those.
And they're cool to walk in.
Oh, they're fancy.
Their weed's okay. It's not woo.
Yeah.
But it's okay. Then we figured out, after talking to a couple locals, to go wander off way out into town and find one of those dispensaries in the neighborhoods.
Ones,
yeah. And we found some bomb weed back there.
Oh, yeah. Well, and it's just, just like any product, you get to a point where you're mass producing it so much you lose that quality.
Right.
And same with insurance, you get so many customers that they're just turning into a number rather than an actual, customer at that point, because you've got so many of them.
So do you guys only deal in cannabis insurance, or are they able to like bundle their cannabis insurance with their other insurance?
So, as far as the cannabis goes, it's always separate from like their home and auto and stuff. That's what I do primarily, is just the cannabis side. That's what I have Jason and Julie for too. Is they're part of the team as well. Julie handles, all the personal lines. So if you wanted to do your home, she can help you out with that. Autos.
Oh, okay.
Jason can help you out with life stuff too. But my focus is primarily on the cannabis. But we do offer all the other normal
insurance stuff.
Yeah. But for me, it's kind of my goal just to stay focused on this one part, because it's with most insurances you get a handbook of how to do it,
right?
And with cannabis insurance there was no handbook, right?
You're just freeballing it, figuring it out. You're writing the handbook. Exactly.
And so that was really enticing to me too when Jason was talking to me about this, because I'm like, I'm not like the 9-to-5 type of person to go do the same thing over and over. But if you give me a task and just say, go make it happen, that's what I really excel at. And so that was really exciting too, because I'm like, well, I'm writing the book right now on this.
Right.
And so that's been really cool too, just to find the ins and outs of it and work the kinks out. And it's all trial by error.
What are some of the ups and downs, do you think?
A lot of ups.
You've figured out so far.
So a lot of ups, I would say. A lot of ups, just knowing that, the local businesses are able to have the option now to have insurance on it, because, they're all still business owners, right? And so there's no reason for them not to be able to have just as much options as the casinos.
Right.
Right. And so that's a really nice part of it, just to be able to have that. The other thing is, I like talking with people. I'm a big talker, so once I get, talking with owners, I try to build, personal relationships to where, we could meet up for coffee on a Tuesday.
Right. Grab a sandwich for lunch and
yeah,
talk about what happened.
Yeah, exactly. And so, and another upside is just being the one over, the big companies, to be the one that's going to start, kind of writing how to do it.
Right, you're going to be able to tell the big companies how to do it versus them tell you how to do it.
Yeah, and it's always nice to kind of win over the big companies too. It's always a good feeling.
It's definitely always nice.
But some of the downs, I will say that here in Montana specifically, our wildfire ratings really high up there, and so with a majority of the dispensaries being outside of city limits, and having like volunteer fire departments being the first ones to respond, it does kind of get tricky with that,
right?
Because some carriers won't, and every carrier is different, whether they will or won't cover certain things. But it's great to also have a big network for myself, to not only just have one option for a carrier. I have, probably dozens of them, and some of them won't cover Montana, some of them will. Some of them will exclude certain things that won't. And so it's really just casting a net out there with my brokers and, working to find whatever we found that customer needs to find the right coverage. And it can take some time. That's the biggest thing, is patience, and it's a lot of paperwork.
Oh, I bet. I could never do your job.
That
much I can tell you.
It's probably 6 hours a piece of just paperwork per customer, and that's just on a good day.
Oof,
but
that's rough.
So I would say that would be the cons, is sometimes finding coverage and finding the right coverage, because sometimes they can offer one part of what they needed, but one part wasn't available, and so kind of some mix and matching,
right?
And just trying to find, like I said, just throwing that net out as wide as I can, and making sure I can find something.
Have any of your customers had to deal with any of the fires?
Not yet, fortunately.
Whew.
Not yet, and I'm really thankful for that. Because the last thing I want to see is my customers and businesses go up.
Oh, right.
But fingers crossed that won't happen.
It was gnarly this year,
Oh yeah, and I have customers on the far east side, on the on the state line, and the wind out there gets really gnarly, and they got tornadoes out that way too. So, but thankfully, none of my customers have had to deal with any of the fires this year.
That's good. That's
so fingers
good.
crossed we keep it that way.
Definitely. That is one of the shitty parts about being on the outskirts of town is it's way more fire prone.
Yeah, but I can always try to find something. So
you said you had 5 customers and you're working on your 6th?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's a slow process.
Oh, I bet.
Yeah, but I think
I can only imagine how rough that could be.
Well, I mean, it's as rough as you make it. But like I'm really kind of passionate about this, so I'll spend as much time as I need to, either in the office or on the computer doing whatever. But I would say like over 6 months, the 5 is pretty reasonable for something that's just starting out.
Right.
And I only hope to grow it more, but I also know that it's not going to be it's not going to be like solar where I got 20 leads a day and I would probably sell 4 or 5 of them.
Right.
So, but I like it better that way, because that way I can
build more of a personal connection with each customer that way.
Yeah, but then I'm also not overpiled with work, so that way I don't have to do parts of each customer's thing throughout the day. I can kind of just stay on track with one until they're done, and then hop to the next one. So
yeah,
I mean it's slow, but I think it's worth it, 100%.
Yeah. How long did you do solar for?
I did that for like 3 years. Yeah, it was great at first. It was great, but I mean, corporate greed.
Yeah.
Corporate greed will get the best of anybody that's open to it.
Solar's really been taking off the last handful of years too.
It has, but it got messy there. It's still really not that great, but yeah, I'm glad I'm out of it. We'll say that. But it did give me a lot of good sales experience.
Right.
And a lot of good personal experience, or personal relationship building, because I was sitting in people's homes at their kitchen table, and sometimes eating dinner with them. And so 3 years of that, it really opened my eyes to see other perspectives and kind of see how businesses run. So I am glad, at least for the experience I got. But
sometimes that's what one job is meant for, is just experience.
Yep. And hopefully this is my last one. So I intend on making this.
It sounds like you're doing pretty good with it, and
I appreciate it.
If you keep those relationships going how it goes, then
and that's the biggest thing, is keeping those relationships. Yeah. Because everybody can really offer the same product. I mean, as far as because I'm not able to haggle the price with insurance as much as I wish I could.
Right.
Like with solar, I could finesse the company a little bit, but I don't have any control over these premiums, and so it's really selling what I have to offer as a local company, and over what the big guys' prices or what their coverages are, because it really comes out to be the same. So it's really just, who are you going to trust in order to be the one to, when you call, you're going to get an answer, and you're not going to get transferred to 5 different people, the claims representative, the specialty, the HR, whatever it may be. So that's also a thing that I strive for.
Right.
Is to have that reputation.
So you said that you use cannabis medically for your Crohn's. How long have you been using cannabis for?
I would say actually probably closer to 10 years. Yeah. And I don't think that I would be able to tolerate my Crohn's without it, and that's just because there's a lot of benefits to it for me. It helps me eat, it gets rid of the pain a lot, knocks down the nausea, helps my back out too from my motorcycle accident. So it's
now when you first started using it for your Crohn's, did the doctor recommend it to you?
No. Oh, hell no. No.
How did you figure out that you'd be able to use it medically for your Crohn's?
So kind of shout out to my mom, because like for a while we were doing natural stuff like essential oils and whatnot, and then I think it was like right after I graduated, and I was actually kind of after I was in the fire department and kind of doing all that stuff, and I was just really sick, and like I couldn't barely get out of bed. And I remember my mom had picked me up, and she's like, I was like, where are we going? She's like, we're gonna go to a dispensary and we're gonna get you some weed. And I was like, what? Like, my mom just came pick me up? Oh, she actually told me we were going to Sam's Club, just to like get me in the car. And so we went down, and I won't say the dispensary name, but we went down there, and I got it, and because she had been doing some research behind the scenes, and she was actually talking to Elizabeth over at Alternative Wellness. Yeah. And so we had gone down there, and she was like, try it, and man, I sat there in my garage and I just smoked a joint, and for the first time I was able to take the pain, because it doesn't really knock it down, but it just changes the way you're able to deal with it.
Right.
And I was like, man, like I feel a lot better. And then I was like, man, my stomach isn't hurting as bad. Like, I feel like I finally have an appetite, and I slept like a rock that night. And so
I bet.
Yeah, and so then I went and saw the doctor too, and we got I can't remember exactly how it went, but we did go and see the doctor downtown at Alternative Wellness. That was when it was down, kind of by the. It was just downtown. I can't remember the street, but anyways.
Yeah, I don't remember its location before Broadwater.
Yeah, it was downtown somewhere, but I had talked to the doctor a little bit, and he was kind of telling me like what it would help with, and from then on, it was just really just a research journey, and just I think it was like had to have been like 2017 or 16 when I discovered Rick Simpson oil.
Oh, RSO.
Yeah, because my mom had just, like I said, just been doing a shit ton of research, and just trying to get anything to help me feel better. And so yeah, we found that, and then learned about the THC and the CBD and what to kind of use, and from then on, that's just been my go-to medicine for everything.
Right.
For anything pain or especially stomach related to, that RSO really helps me out.
I bet. That shit's so strong.
Oh yeah. You gotta be careful with it. But then I also use the CBG isolate that Can of Eden has.
Oh, yep.
Because the CBG is really good for the inflammation. So I try to take that every day. So yeah, it was really just the way I found out about it was my poor mom was tired of seeing me suffer.
Sometimes
Love
that's
you, Mom,
what it takes.
for that. Yeah. So that's how it kind of all began, and it was just like, man, it actually, helped me get off of opiates too. Because there for a while I was just taking opiates every day because my stomach.
I was just about to ask how many pills they had you on.
I was like 180 milligrams a day at the worst. Yeah. And I remember when I was starting to get better, I was like the first time in the gym, and I was like the night before I decided I was like I'm done with opiates. And I'm like sitting in the gym and I'm just feeling like shit,
Oh, I bet.
And I remember
those withdrawals would suck.
Yeah. And then so I remember I was like, I'm going to go out to the parking lot real quick and I'm going to roast a bowl down and see how I feel afterwards. And then I just went back in, and I've discovered that weed can give you like a second wind while you're working out. And that next day I wasn't craving, I smoked in the morning, but I wasn't craving the pain relief. I was like, nah, I can take it now. This guy's.
Her nickname is Producer Kitty.
She's helpful.
Sometimes.
Oh. Until
she triggers that one to do it. The audience loves her. But, yeah, it's crazy the medical benefits that cannabis has, and that it's been illegal for so long.
Oh yeah, and it's always been known that it has benefits. It's just
they just deny it.
Oh yeah,
they're trying to. It's corporate greed.
Oh yeah, absolutely. That is the
At
one
the end of
thing
the day,
that
it's always corporate greed.
That is the one thing that I sometimes worry about is, some of that corporate influence getting brought up here, and then because the corporate people will try to buy everybody out.
Yeah, and they're fighting hard to get in now.
Yeah, and so, but I think us as Montanans, I think we're pretty set in our ways of.
Yeah, see, that's their issue is they don't know Montanans, and we're all about that local.
Yeah.
We prefer local.
Well, and there's so many families that are now like, there's look at all the dispensaries and whatnot, and then everybody behind that. So it's like.
Yeah, I feel like a lot of those will end up selling out to big canna. But then I know there's a lot of the ones that like steady have solid regular customers. Those ones will stay.
Yeah. Well, I hope to see all of the mom and pop shops stay open as long as possible.
Yeah. You always have at least one or two mom and pop shops somewhere hidden in the cities.
Oh yeah. I remember going through, because I tried to, especially all the local places, I really try to go into the dispensaries,
right,
see the shop fronts and show face, and so it took me a good few weeks to be able to go hit all of them just in the Billings area. I was like,
see, and people always ask me why I drive out to the festival at night, and I'm like, because it's about a 6-hour drive. It'll take me like 12 hours if I do it during the day, because I don't want to stop in every town at every dispensary and just bullshit with every bud
Make
tender.
sure they're all closed before you go through.
Basically, they are.
Yeah. it is hard not to like buy something at every shop sometimes.
Oh yeah, I bet.
Yeah.
Yeah, when you're out there during the day and you can just go to every single one, it's like, God, I want to try it. I want to try it.
That is a cool upside to my job, though. Like, when people ask what you do, I'm like, I just go around to dispensaries all day. Just go say what's up.
That would be a dope job, being able to just go to dispensaries all day.
Yeah, I feel like I'm living, like, my teenage dream of racing motorcycles and working in the cannabis industry.
Right. How long have you raced motorcycles for?
So, I've ridden all my life. The last 4 years, I've been really trying to get more into it for my sport bike, but it's been like health problem after health problem.
I bet.
And so, but like I said, it was nice having that like 2 months to kind of just work on what I needed to that I had been slacking on, and so that way, hopefully, when spring rolls around, I'll have everything ready and I can go hit some down in Utah. And
now, are those are you doing just like straightaways, or are those ones with the like super bendy turns where you basically lay your bike all the way down?
Yeah.
Fuck, bro, that shit's intense.
It's fun though. My team is called Chronically Ill Racing, and it's because of my Crohn's, being so impactful in my life is why I started doing it.
Right.
Because it was like something that's gonna be an outlet for me, but also, I wanted to help other people show that, their disease didn't define them. So, regardless of how shitty I feel, I'm always going to be working on that. But
that's a great mindset.
Yeah. But I also, sometimes it's a little tough too, so that's why it's been a little work in progress. But just like this, this has actually kind of helped ease my mind with it, knowing that it doesn't happen overnight. There's a lot of work involved, so it's doing this cannabis stuff and starting out with nothing has kind of put my mind at ease, knowing
it really changes the mindset from one to another. Like when I started this and just literally started from ground zero, it was just like, well, this is different.
Yeah, it's risky, but I mean, if you're committed, it'll work.
Right. So you had slightly skimmed past firefighting.
Yeah.
Were you a firefighter?
Yeah, I was just a volunteer firefighter, EMT.
Volunteer firefighter,
Yeah.
or firefighter, the same thing.
It was a good run. It was because of my Crohn's that I had to stop. I stopped that in 2018. I had a surgery that took some intestines out, and kind of less of a man because of it.
I had always thought about volunteer firefighting, but I don't know. That sounds crazy.
It's if your heart's right, just gotta make remember you don't make any money, but
Right.
it's really not about the money, but it's not something that you can just do if you're only doing that.
Right.
Yeah, because it does take time. But
So how does that work? So did you stay at the house, the firehouse?
not usually.
No.
No, we the department that I was on. It wasn't a fully staffed department. Towards the end, we had the chief was always there. But no, we it wasn't like sleeping overnight at buildings. You would just get a call in the middle of the night and jump in your truck and either meet at the station to jump in one of the rigs there or meet at the scene. Pretty.
Why is that, Dallas? He's like, they probably wouldn't let me volunteer.
Now you gotta keep your face shaved.
Oh, what?
Yeah.
Oh, dude, no way.
At least
No
your
way, I
beard.
ain't
At
going
least
baby
beard.
face.
At least beard. So you gotta be able to have the mask seal.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So
It
you have a
won't
mustache.
seal around the beard. That's why they always just have a
That's
mustache.
why the big fireman's mustache, yeah. Yeah.
I couldn't go baby face.
I'm stuck with it, so I don't have a choice.
Oh, dude, I was so glad once my barber got it to fill in. Oh, I hate baby face. I've thought about shaving before, but
Yeah, it's sometimes hard for people to take me serious, I think. Especially while I was knocking doors for solar, they'd always ask if I was like selling Boy Scout popcorn. And I'm like, no. And I've done, like sometimes I'll walk in, to a dispensary and they're like, I need that ID, like right now.
I feel like that was my problem when I was selling Kirby's is I didn't have the beard, so nobody could take me serious on it.
Hopefully it lasts. I got complimented with somebody said, "Oh, you're like Leonardo DiCaprio." I'm like, I'm not like Leonardo, but I appreciate the comment.
How old are you?
28,
Oh, so we're the same. No, wait, no, I'm 29. I always forget.
but we technically graduated the same year.
Same
Yeah.
year.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, you look really young for 28.
I don't know what it is, but
Count your blessings.
Got the-
I get told that I aged pretty well, but no, dude, you aged way better.
I appreciate that. If only my insides looked the same. Oh, what you get there?
So this one, let's see if I can remember which ones these were which. Okay, so this one is the double dipped. It's a sugar wax blasted by Dallas.
Yeah, there's many comments from Dallas as I saw. It was
He took home People's Choice over in
I saw that. Congrats on
Cup
that.
Fest.
Good stuff. Good job, bud.
He also took home 2 other, but I can never remember the other 2.
Well, congrats to everybody that took home awards. That's awesome.
I gotta take home that cool little joint rolling.
Which one?
This one right here.
Oh, I honestly thought that was like a little Crown Royal souvenir. Just because of the purple band on it. Yeah, I thought that was a Crown Royal souvenir. That's awesome, man. Congrats.
I was pretty stoked about that. And then they let me light a 1/4 ounce joint up on stage.
Yeah. Oh, that looked like a fun fest. I was planning on going up there.
Oh, you'll definitely have to go up next year.
Yeah, I was planning on going up there, but, that little car accident kind of put a stop to things for a little bit.
He said, first in People's Choice live resin, third in diamonds. He makes some fire diamonds, though.
Yeah, I would think it was the comedy night, yeah. Over at Vibe Marketing is when I got to try firsthand.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah.
So you had said that you're more of a sativa guy during the day, indica at night.
Yeah, and usually when I'm working, I try to keep a level head. I'm already distracted enough by my ADHD.
Right.
But
Do you want some?
yeah, here in a second. But the indicas are really more helpful, definitely for the pain and the appetite stuff. So I'll usually have some indica at night, but it's mostly the RSO. The indica just to get me to sleep while the RSO kicks in.
How much RSO? Oh yeah. How much RSO do you take?
I don't look at the thing. Whatever I think that'll make me feel better.
Oh, I used to know this guy that would take an entire syringe and just like spray it on a piece of wax paper and freeze it.
Oh no,
and then he'd
I
toss it down.
I usually try to put it in I'll have like a little thing of like pudding at night, and I'll just put it a little probably like a half-size dime.
He said you took that dab like a champ.
Oh yeah, that one was huge.
Sometimes I dab too heavy. My lungs hate me. Let's just put it that way. Pack-a-day smoker, and I dab heavy. My lungs just hate me.
You should give him a break.
Huh?
Give him a break.
Sometimes I wish I could quit smoking cigarettes.
You can quit.
I'll try eventually.
Nobody's gonna give you hell for quitting.
Oh no. I've had a handful of people tell me I need to quit.
Well, there's a handful in one now because you should quit. Just, health stuff sucks.
Yeah. I watched my mom deal with a bunch of health stuff from smoking her whole life. And after she passed away, I was like, I really need to start working on quitting smoking. Like, I know that if I do quit smoking and I have some of my grandma's genes, I could live almost to 100. That scares me.
Do you want to live that long, though?
I
don't know if I want to live that long.
I've always said that I only want to live to like 50. 50 is a nice solid number. After 50, everything goes to shit.
I'm sure my dad could attest to that. You good? Oh, yeah, he's good. So I kind of wanted to touch on too about some of the coverages.
Yeah.
That that would be beneficial for not only dispensaries but like grows and whatnot. Because just like every other business, you have basic is general liability, right? And that the liability covers slip and falls, which it's coming up on that season, the slip and fall season, especially here. And it covers stuff like your products and completed operations, which is really important for literally everybody in the entire chain, from your packaging people to the manufacturers to whoever's selling it. And that will just what that does is that gives you protection for if anybody were to try to say that they got sick off of your package or somehow got injured from it. That coverage would help protect you and help give you some coverage for like defense costs and whatnot.
Right.
Which is super important because, like I said, everybody down the line can be held liable for it. So that's a really important coverage to have, especially for dispensaries. And then, you have your property too. So, depending on because a lot of the places are leased out. So depending on what your lease agreement says, some say that they require the lessor to have full property coverage on it. Some don't require it. And so the property is kind of, I always try to base it off of what their lease agreement says. But if it doesn't say anything, it's kind of up to you or whatnot.
Right.
But then, and with that property coverage, I always recommend I always write them in special, special for them to make sure that they're covered by wind, hail, the acts of God, stuff, falling trees.
Oh, dude.
Yeah, and especially here, the wind and hail is a big one.
Right.
And so for a basic dispensary, I would say that having, your property coverage and that general liability, because, slip and falls happen all the time.
All the time.
And, an average slip and fall is like $50,000. And so, and it could,
dude.
like, on Friday when that crackhead slips and falls in the gas station, I want $250,000. You remember the movie Friday with Ice?
Oh, yeah.
And he's in the gas station, he slips and falls, and they're like, "Get your ass out of here." That's like not that unreasonable. Depending on how bad the slip.
Fucking insane, bro.
Yeah, and so, if you could imagine just even pulling out $20,000 for somebody's medical bills, that's still a lot of money. And so that's why having that general liability is really important. And the minimum that we write it at is like $1 million per year. So you'd have like $1 million worth of coverage to use throughout your policy year. But that's like the basic stuff. Now, for anybody that's doing growing, right, I have options for crop insurance, and that's from seed to harvest, so through all stages, and that's on a stated amount. So if you have $250,000 worth of plants growing, your policy is going to cover $250,000. And so it doesn't cover outdoor grows, though. Outdoor grows are almost always excluded.
So what does that cover then? So if you were to get like a bug infestation and have to cut your entire crop down?
A lot of the policies have that excluded. And it's just because part of it is what are you doing to prevent that?
Right.
So it mostly covers it for like a total loss. Say, you had a fire roll through your building and it took out all your plants. Well, your building may be covered, but if you don't have crop insurance, then there's $250,000 of crop wasted.
See, and that's what a lot of people don't think about is crop insurance.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'd never thought of getting crop insurance.
Well, you think it's because it's weed.
Right.
Yeah, like who's gonna actually insure my actual weed? Right?
Dude.
It's still kind of a new concept, and that's really important too, and especially like if you're a wholesaler, that's a big one because that's when you're dealing with
Other
big amounts. Weed. Yeah, and so when we compare that with like an inland marine cargo too, so. That'll not prevent, but it'll protect the crop from place to place to policy amounts.
Right.
So, whether it's hired or non-hired autos, if there's an accident and it blew out all over the highway, you could be covered for that as well. And so there's a lot of things that can go wrong and will go wrong, right?
Yeah.
But there's coverage for crop, and then obviously business personal property too, so that includes anything except the cannabis. So all your computers, your bookshelves, your display cases, security cameras, all that stuff, right? Because you lose that as well in a fire, and that's going to be a lot of money to replace as well.
Yeah.
And so, it's good to make sure that
I can vouch for that one. That shit's expensive.
Yeah, exactly. And so it's really important that you kind of keep tabs on what the cost of all your stuff inside is and make sure that's covered too, because again, the building may be covered, but the contents aren't. Right? And so it's really important to have that in as well.
Damn, that's complex as fuck.
Yeah, it gets kind of deep into some rabbit holes a little bit. But I also have, for growers especially, the LED lights. Those I know are expensive.
Yeah.
And especially if you're doing an indoor grow and have, hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of lights.
Yeah.
That's that separate.
And some of those indoor grows get pretty big.
Yeah. So having lighting coverage for your LED lights is really important too as well if you're growing. And then we offer other stuff like professional liability. So one of my clients is a testing lab. And so for them, they don't necessarily need the products, but they're actually required by the state of Montana to hold $1 million worth of professional liability. And it's like the same thing like your doctors have. It's errors and omissions. So if they make a mistake on something, you can't go back and try to sue them for that.
Right.
I mean, you can, but they have the money to help defend against it. And so that's actually, as far as I know, the only required Montana or coverage that Montana has. Only required one. But I would not be surprised that the more this industry gets rolling, that they will start, maybe requiring liability at least for everybody.
Yeah.
And just to protect, your clientele, on or off, the premises. So that's really big too, the liability. And I would say at bare minimum, you need liability.
Yeah.
Because people are very sue happy nowadays.
Oh, dude. It's so annoying.
And so it just takes one slip and fall to ruin somebody.
Especially the whole slip and fall thing, dude. People milk
Oh, yeah.
Fuck out
Oh,
of that.
yeah. Oh, yeah. And so, imagine just having somebody milking it and you're just like going out of pocket for them.
Yeah.
So.
I do snow removal during the winter, so when I hear somebody
Slipped and falls.
Slipped and fell on one of my sidewalks, I'm like,
yeah, you start
hold up, wait a minute. I go walk across that sidewalk, motherfucking bitch. That fucking bitch, she tripped herself.
Yeah, I mean, and I'm not saying all people will do that, but you'd rather not risk it.
Yeah.
So.
It's better to be covered than
absolutely
not covered and fucking regretting life afterwards.
100%. 100%. And, when we're talking about premiums and whatnot, like I said, I can't control the price. But when you look at it from a standpoint of you're spending pennies to save dollars.
Yeah.
Because let's say you had a $10,000 policy for the whole year. And one slip and fall cost you $15,000. Well, your coverage already paid what your policy amount of the year was worth. So you've already saved money if you didn't have insurance.
Yeah.
And so, you got to look at it like that. You're spending pennies to save dollars. Because, like I said, insurance claims, especially nowadays, they can get pretty high. And especially with, the cost of building materials. If you were to have to build one of these dispensaries from the ground up, just the building alone, you're probably looking at least $500,000. At least. For a small dispensary.
I'm sure this brand new building right here was not
cheap. Nope. And all of it can be gone in a matter of seconds.
Yeah.
Pray to God it doesn't, but it's life.
Yeah.
You gotta, it's better to,
Dude, that storm that happened fucking August 6th, that shit was insane.
Yeah, and we got a lot of trees, too, so,
We got a lot of trees right here. We almost had one fall on the trailer.
Yeah, and so, having that, too. Now, along with the property coverage, too, I always try to make sure that there is some type of, business interruption or business income.
Right.
And what that coverage does for you is, so let's say you did have a total loss, and your dispensary had completely burned down. It will give you, so with business income, it will give you a certain amount of money after a time period of your loss.
Right.
To help, it's not going to give you your same income back, but it'll help ease some of the troubles by giving you a set monthly amount for, sometimes they're 6 months, most of the time they're 12 months. And then once you add extra expense onto that, that is what's going to help you with rental payments for maybe a new facility to rent out, and with renting new POA systems or computers, whatever you need to actually help you get back to at least being able to make an income.
Right.
And, if you have something happen in the middle of December, you're not going to get that rebuilt till spring, if the earliest, with our weather. And so that's
our winters haven't been.
Yeah, don't say that. Don't say that. That's just, we don't. We're
jinx us.
We're blessed for the winters that we've had.
Yeah, we definitely have been compared to the rest of the state.
Yeah, and so So having those coverages added on as riders onto your policy makes a big difference too. And so I really try to go through what my customers' needs are specifically, and some of them have actually had policies already, because there is a couple big name brands like Payne West. I think they're like McClellan or something now, but there is some bigger names that will take on the risk. But almost every time that I've talked to somebody that has had a different policy, it's the same thing. They're out of California, Colorado,
Right.
somewhere on the East Coast, New York, and they're wanting somebody local that that can just handle everything for
Right.
them. And so the people that I see have either don't know about it, it's still a brand new thing to them, and they're really surprised that it's a thing, or it's people that have heard about it and haven't really found an option for them, to where they're like, well, I know it's out there, but it's so hard to find it unless you really spend some time looking, and then it's still dealing with like online applications and from places that's not here.
Right.
And so
It's not in person.
yeah, and so it's
I
not
hate
like
phone trees. I cannot stand them. So in person, way better.
yeah. So it's being the little guy, it is sometimes a challenge because you're the little guy. But, where me and Jason are working really hard to bring this business up, to, be able to provide a service for the whole state, to be able to provide a good service.
Right.
And we're not perfect, and I can't always get coverages that people want, but I'm always going to give it the best effort that we can.
Right.
Because it's better for me to go to sleep saying, like, I spent 4 weeks trying to get this person coverage and I got denied every single time, rather than just to be like, oh, this might be a hard one, and just kind of let it go.
Wow, the
and
hard
not
ones
really
are the fun ones, aren't they?
They are. Because I mean, I get a little feisty sometimes because I'm like, there's no way that there's nothing that I can do.
Right.
Like, there's always something. So, it is hard, but like I said, the more that the Ashland agency gets out there as far as carriers go, then more people that are going to start giving me more opportunities for different coverages and whatnot. So
Right.
hopefully in the future, finding coverages is going to be a lot more easier. And I'm not saying that's hard, but there's times where it's a little frustrating because of factors that we can't control. But at the end of the day, I'm still happy to do it.
Well, if you're happy to do it, then you'll excel at it.
Yeah, and I'm not working for another big corporate company, which is fantastic. I'll take this over anything.
Right. I don't even know how long we've been live. My watch is dead. Oh shit, we're rounding up on an hour now.
Awesome.
Is there anything else you want to add in? Going over your
so
notes and whatnot?
So, not really. I mean, I will be in Bozeman this weekend. So if there is anybody in Bozeman that is listening and maybe wants a little bit more info, you can go to, you can find, actually, I don't know if my cell phone number is on there, but if you do want it, get a pen and paper out. And my cell phone number for work is 406-503-2895. And feel free to give me a call or a text while I'm up there. If you guys want any more information, or if you want to, maybe stop and look at a quote, I'd be super happy to actually meet you in person while I'm up there. So I'll be up in Bozeman this weekend, so catch me out there.
I drove past. I didn't stop. I stopped in Belgrade and gassed up, but I just zoomed home when I came back.
It's crazy how many
Hopefully the
spots
smoke isn't bad up there, because I know when I was coming down, the smoke was super, super bad all the way down. Yeah, it was gnarly.
I'm sure it's cleared up a little bit by now, especially with all this rain that we've been having, hopefully.
Oh, dude, this rain's felt so good.
It was needed. It was needed.
Much needed.
Yeah.
I'm glad we're heading into fall now. That winter was a little long, or not winter, but that summer was a little long.
Oh man, I love the
was brutal.
summer. Yeah, brutal, dude. There was down in Arizona, like in the
Oh yeah, I
summertime.
forget that you lived down in Arizona for a bit.
Yeah, so at least here when we have 105-degree days, at least at night it's still below 70 for most of the time. Now, you get like 75, but it's cool enough to sometimes you'll need a little hoodie. But
Right.
It's relaxing. You can do the stuff at night. Arizona, dude, from like May to end of September, it's a high of like 116 to 120 during the day and a low of like 88 to 91. And so there was so many times like midnight I would walk out thinking that like, yeah, I'm going to go change my brakes on my truck, because it's not going to be nice and cool. And I'm sitting there and I'm like sweating and there's no
Fuck
sun out.
that.
It's like 1 o'clock in the morning, but it's still 89 degrees. So we were very lucky to have even a hot day here.
Yeah, like I said, I'm glad I live somewhere where the cold hurts my face, but at the same time it sucks.
Yeah. No. It's a good stay. I'm thankful to be here.
Dallas said, "Have a great night, everyone." He's still sleepy. He said he's gonna try to make it over in the morning with his trophies so we can show them off.
There you go. Yeah, congrats again on that.
The blue cup he has is so badass.
Is it?
Yeah, it has it's like a lizard or a dragon on it, but it's dope as fuck.
That's cool.
And they're all all the.
I was gonna say they all looked like they were handmade. See, that's what I like about Montana too. Is like,
oh, there's so many glass blowers here, dude.
Like we have so many even Montana silversmiths. Like when I shot trap as a kid, like in high school. We'd win Montana silversmith belt buckles, and then you go down south, and they're like Montana silversmith is like a huge name for like really high quality jewelry, and so you meet some people that know about it down there, and it's like they're so astounded that you have some Montana silversmith stuff. But then up here, it's like we win them for trophies on a trap shoot for 14-year-olds.
Right.
So I think that's a really cool part of Montana too.
Yeah.
We have kind of a little bit of everything, and it's a lot of stuff's just from here too. So
yeah,
keep it local, guys. Keep that local.
Always support local.
100%.
On that note, what's your guys' website?
So you can find us. It's just the ashmanagency.com. You can find us on Google. I don't know. Are you able to? If I sent you a link, would you be able to like put it in the chat or something?
I can put it in the chat on here because I got the show on my phone right now. But she's pulling up your website right now.
Okay, cool. Yeah.
I don't know if I have the right one.
Let me try to.
Jason said, post it on your Facebook.
Yeah, I can do that. I can do that for sure. Let me. So yeah, I'll post I'll post a website on my Facebook. The website is on my Facebook. So if you do go to our Facebook and just scroll down in the details, you should be able to click on it and find it. Yep. So that works. Yeah. So the link in the Facebook details will get you there. And it should have my info in there as well.
Alright, well, on that note, we're going to call it a night.
Sounds good.
Have a great Friday night, guys. Smoke safe, smoke responsible, and we'll see you here in the morning for some local music and some Canna news.
Yeah, hey, appreciate you having me on.
Hey, we appreciate you coming on.
It was nice to kind of get the word out.
Hey, that's what we're here for, is to get the word out.
Absolutely.
Be the voice of some people.
Well, I appreciate it.
Hey, we appreciate you.
Have a good night, everybody.
Have a good night, guys.
Thank you.
Been about time that we're going away. Been about time, it's a whole nother day. Put the heat on to the Tetons with the neon you can lean on. Never get beat on, hey. But you don't even listen, huh? But you're not even wishing, huh? You just keep on fishing, huh? Wonder where we go, we don't even know, huh? You hit me like a megaton. You hit me like a megaton. You hit me like a megaton. Watch it on the jumbotron. Hit me like a megaton. Watch it on the jumbotron. Hit me like a megaton. Dreams, 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 dreams. On fire, fire. Dreams, 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 dreams. On fire, fire.
Yeah, living life with never fearing of it. Take a bite and chew it cause you love it. I've been inside a rapid rising oven. Now I'm hotter than a proper English muffin.
You're never gonna get that change, never gonna get that cane, never gonna get that brain, always gonna be that hang, man, hang, man, hang. And you just need to listen. You hit me like a megaton. You hit me like a megaton. You hit me like a megaton. Watch it on the jumbotron. Hit me like a megaton. Watch it on the jumbotron. Hit me like a megaton. Dreams, dreams.